Dangal greetings, sir. I'm the leader of the group, Kerwin E. Caballes, and my student number is 2101068. We are here to present our group project in client-side scripting preliminaries. So here is our members.
Good day, Sir Janus. My name is Raziel T. My school number is 2100319.
Good day, sir. My name is Adrian James B. Boncales, student number 1902254.
Dangal greetings, sir. My name is Karl Angelo Cancisio, and my student number is 1902276.
Good day, Sir Janus. My name is Kathleen from 2ITB, and my student number is 2102110.
Dangal greetings to you, Sir Tomax. I am Alastair O. Ferrer.
Dangal greetings. My name is Joel Jalapit Jr. and my student number is 2102047.
Dangal greetings. I am Alleina D. Malabana. I am student 1902656.
Good day, everyone. My name is Potot, and my student number is 2101859.
Good day, Sir Janus. I am Zyrel E. Trinidad. My school number is 2101886.
Hi, once again, I'm Potot from 2ITB, and I'm here to explain HTML for Prelim project. First, we have here the head tag for title and link. First, title tag, which is for Prelim project, and the next one is link for HTML design, which is CSS, and the next one is body, contains of so many divisions, for the IV tag, and the next one is the IV tag for the container, and the next one is P tag for output, which is this, and the next one is the IV tag for the border, and for P tag for P output, and the next IV tag for label, which is enter a number, which is this here, and the next one is input tag for the text field here, and next one is HR tag for the line here to separate the buttons here, and the next div tag, which is contains of so many buttons, and these buttons functions will explain someone in the group, and last one is script tag for source for the JavaScript, and that's all, and thank you.
Dangal greetings. My name is Joel Jalapit Jr. and my student number is 2102047, and I'm here to discuss the cascading style sheet of the code of our project. So let us start with this line of code. So the difference between the symbol asterisk or the selector asterisk and the element body is that the selector asterisk targets all elements in the document or in the page, while the body selector targets only the body element. And in the body element, I put a display flag. So the display flag is a layout module in the CSS that is used for creating flexible and responsive layouts. And in this container, I put also a container. So the container is in the center of the web page. I put a max width of 700 pixel and with width of 100%. And I also put a box shadow and border radius, as you can see in the edge of the square, of 10 pixel. And I also put a linear gradient, which is the background image inside the container. And I put also in the container the user input display inline block. So the characteristic of the inline block, it allows the element to have a specific width and height and vertical padding and margin. While the position relative inside the border, so the border, you will find this one in this part. And I put a position relative. So the position relatives, it remains in the normal document flow, but its position, it can be adjusted using the top, bottom, left, and right properties. And I also put a HR. So this HR is the line between the button and the user input. And I also put in the button width of 100% and display block and margin and padding of 10 pixel. And I also put, whenever I put my cursor in the button, it's changed, and I put that button hover. And I also put inside of that is cursor pointer, and I also put a linear gradient and a box shadow and a border radius of 30%. And this part, you will see this here, and this ID, you will see here whenever. So this is the answer that you will show inside the center of the box. And that's all for the cascading style sheet of the code of our project. Thank you.
Good day, Sir Janus. My name is Kathleen from 2ITB, and my student number is 2102110. In this JS file, as we can see in this part, we use the use strict to restrict when declaring variables or to declare that the code should be executed in strict mode. Now, proceeding to the global variables, this let num equals document that get element by ID, open parenthesis, num input, close parenthesis, is where the user will store the input digits using the global variable let num. Today, I will explain the part where the code functions that count all the digits. In this function count all digits, we declare the let number of digits equals num dot to string dot length to get the length of the number of digits that the user input. The if-else statement function is to check if the user inputs a number digit or not. If the user did not achieve to input a digit, an alert will be displayed to remind the user to input a number digit only. Else, it will display all counted digits.
My name is Alleina D. Malabana, and let us now move on to the function count all even digits, which counts each even input digit. Any spaces in the variable will be removed by the program using the remove white space function. We declared a variable even counter with a default value of 0. Then, if the user did not input any digits, the program will alert the user saying please enter a digit or digits. On the other hand, the for off loop will execute. If the number is divisible by 2, the even counter variable will increment. Lastly, the p tag p output is then used to display the total number of all even input digits.
Good day, Sir Janus. My name is Raziel T. Today, I will explain the function count all odd digits. Now, this code is a JavaScript file, and its function is used to count all odd digits. This function will only be executed if the button count all odd digits in the HTML file is clicked by the user. Now, inside the code or the function are the codes that make it so that it will count all odd digits. Now, I'm going to guide you step by step on how this block of code works. First line of code is where we declare or is where the function first converts the input number to a string using the .toString method and removes any whitespace characters from it using the code remove whitespace. Now note that the variable num is already declared and it is a global variable. Now the value of num is the value of num input and the value of non-input is the value of whatever the user inputs in the text fields. Second line of code is where we declare a variable named add counter, which is set to 0. Now this variable will be used later on. Third line of code until line 51 is a if statement. Now the first statement is a validation code, where the code checks if the input is equal to 0. If it is, then it will display an alert message saying please enter a digit. Now if the input is not 0, then the else statement will be executed. Now inside the else statement is a for loop which iterates the digits, going through all of the user inputted number, checking if it is divisible by 2 or not. If not, then it is an odd number and the add counter variable gets incremented by that amount. The total of add counter variable is going to show how many odd number are in the display box. Now the last line of code is basically means that it will display the number of odd digits by calling the variable add counter. Now that is all for me. Once again, my name is Raziel T from section 2 ITB and I thank you.
Greetings again, sir. My name is Kerwin Caballes, and I'm going to explain the most occurring function. Most occurring function will be called if the user clicks the most occurring digit button. Then remove the white space of num and declare digit and counter variable. Then we go to if condition. If num is equal to 0, the program will alert the user to enter a digit. And if it's false, we go to else and execute the following code. First, the program will iterate the digits to check every digit using for of loop. And inside of the for loop, we declare temp digit to represent the current digit and temp counter for how many times the digit occurs. Then we use another for loop to count how many times the current digit occurs by checking if the y of num is equal to temp digit. If it is equal, temp counter will increment. Then the program will check if the temp counter is equal to counter. Counter is the previous temp counter. If this line of code is true, that means there is new most occurring digit or more than one most occurring digit. Let's go inside of the if statement. If the temp counter is greater than previous counter, then that means there is new most occurring digit. Then the counter will set to temp counter and the digit will be equal to temp digit plus comma and space. It will not concatenate because it is new most occurring digit. Let's go now inside of else. If it's else, that means the temp counter is equal to counter, and it is also means that there are more than one most occurring digits. Then the program will filter the digits, convert the digits to string and put it into var container, and split it to organize the outputs. Then the digits will be set to digit containers that will be filtered. For example, because of the program will always concatenate, the most occurring digit will be like 113355. This filter method will remove the duplicate digits and convert it into 135. Then the program will modify the text on P output to be most occurring digits plus BR. BR means line break, then plus number of times plus counter. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Good day, Sir Janus. I am Zyrel E Trinidad, and my student number is 2101886. I am going to discuss the find digit function of our project. Find digit will be called if the users click the button find a digit. Find digit is the function that finds a digit in the text field. Next variable is let num. Equal document that get element by audi or num input.val. This will store the user input in the variable num. Then we remove white space in the variable num, then declare boolean variable to validate if the digit is found. And if the sum is equal to 0, the program will not proceed going on the while loop. The prompt dialog will pop up and ask the user to enter a digit. Then remove white space of variable again. And then the program will check if the input variable is not a number, and if it's true, the alert will pop up and tell the user to enter a digit and go to while loop again. And if it's false, the program will go to else. This is input equal null is used when the user clicks the cancel button and breaks the operation. Then we go for the loop that checks if the digit is 16. The for let x of num iterates the digits, then the program will check if the x is equal to input, and if it's true, the boolean is found will be set true and the breaks the loop. And if the x did not find any match, this is found boolean will still be set to false. Then we go to the last validation of the find digit function. If is found, the p output paragraph will be changed to the digit exists. And if the found boolean is false, the p output paragraph will be changed to the digit does not exist and breaks the loop. This else in the end will execute if the user clicks the cancel. That is all, sir. Thank you.
My name is Adrian Boncales, student number 1902254. I'm here to discuss the four functions: clear fields, remove white space, check field key press, and check field leave. The function clear fields, we will call the input element with an ID of input using the get element by ID to replace the value with empty string, and we will also call the p element with an ID of p output by using the get element by ID to replace the value with empty string. The function remove white space, it has one parameter which passes in text, then returns a text that removes the white space starting from the beginning to end using the trim method. Then function check field key press, we will get the value of the num input using the get element by ID and that value property and store it to the num variable. Then it will check if the num is not a number. If it returns true, alert dialog will show up saying enter only digit, and removes the last type character by the user using the slice method. Then we will call the input element with an ID of num input using the get element by ID to replace the value with the new input without the letters or characters except from numbers. Then the last function check field leave, we will then call the input element with an ID of num input using the get element by ID and that value property and store it to the num variable. Then it will check if the num is not a number. If it returns true, it will remove the last type by the user using the slice method, and then we will call the input element with an ID of num input using get element by ID to replace the value without the letters, and that's all.
Greetings to you, sir, the most active member of the group. I am Alastair O, and I will discuss what are these purposes. But, for the count all digits, for all even digits, for all odd digits, and later on, my fellow member will discuss the remaining component, such as most occurring digits, find digits, and clear component. So for the first is, there is a validation before you enter to a container and count it, since we are dealing with only integer type of data. That's why it is prohibited if you put some special characters or even words, phrases. So for the count all digits, since we aren't input any digit, that's why there is no number of digits inside the input. So if we put inside a container an integer type, therefore it will automatically counted to all digits. So for the second is count the all even digits. So if I input some even digits such as 2, 4, 6, 8, so it will automatically count for all the even digits such as 2, 4, 6. 7 is an odd number. So for the odd digits, we increment to in container such as 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7 is all the even digits. And let's now proceed to the next presenter.
Good day, sir. My name is Karl Angelo Cancisio, and I will be demonstrating the functionalities for the most occurring digit, find a digit, and clear button. Since it says here, enter a number, only numbers can be accepted in our program. So if you try to put letters in here, an error message will pop up saying enter only digits. Pressing the OK button will remove the letter inputted in the text field. So if we put numbers here in the text field, the error will not trigger. Pressing the most occurring digit button here the output box will be updated, and it will state the most occurring digit, which is number 2, and the number of times it has shown in the text field, which is 2 times. Pressing the find a digit button will show a dialog box on top, and the text field stating enter a digit. So if we try to press OK without even entering a number, an error will show saying enter a digit. Pressing OK again will bring you back, and if we try to input a number that is not inputted here in the text field, the output box will show the digit does not exist. Pressing the find a digit again with the number 5 that actually is in here, the output box will say the digit exists. Pressing the clear button will clear all the context in the text field and the output box.